Hello everybody, welcome back. I've got another Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions job breakdown for you. This time we're Summoner. Summoners are pretty cool, not gonna lie. Probably my favorite caster class, just because their abilities actually look pretty cool. And you know, if you're familiar with the other Final Fantasy games in the Final Fantasy series, you probably have come across some of these at some point or other. I remember, you know, a lot of these from Final Fantasy VI, so it was kind of cool to see them, you know, in this game as well. Let's start out here with. Oh, by the way, the cool thing about summoners is they will not like a beneficial Esper here like Moogle will not help out enemy characters, right, or enemy units. As well as your attack ones like, you know, Shiva Rama will not hit your allies. So friendly fire is basically disabled, I guess, is kind of how I would describe that. So Moogle here, and generally they, you know, I mean, you can take a look at the speeds here, but Moogle is pretty quick here with the speed of 34. This is a pretty minor heal. You know, I don't know. There's also a vertical, you know, 2 component there. So it's a little bit easier to actually land this, right? Like, your characters don't all have to be on exactly the same, you know, height. So that makes it, again, a little bit easier to land some of these. But that one's the heal. Shiva is Ice Element. You know, radius 3 there, vertical 2. So again, kind of the same deal there. It's pretty easy to land this on enemies within reason, I suppose. Obviously, if they're too high up, you know, you're not going to be able to hit them with it. Let's see here. Who is next? I should say Shiva, Rama, and Ifrit are all about the same mana cost and then speed. It's just the different elements, right? Oopsies. I backed out of that. My bad. Sorry about that. So let's talk Rama. Rama is lightning, and then Ifrit is fire. Titan here is a little bit slower, a little bit more MP, not by much, but this guy's the Earth element. And then what do we have next here? Golem, an Esper that absorbs damage from physical attacks on behalf of allies until its limit is reached. This is actually pretty cool. Radius all allies, it just works on everybody, right? So it doesn't matter where you're standing either. So honestly, this one's pretty cool. Let's actually cast that. Hopefully I can get this casted before I get rocked here, and then it's 100% as well. So excuse me, it doesn't look like we have you know, any sort of faith issues with Golem, at least. But yeah, you know, pretty interesting ability. Now I don't know how much damage this is going to absorb here. Let's take a look. And yeah, he looks. That's actually pretty cool. Ward is equal to the caster's maximum HP. So, and then as long as the ward has 1 HP remaining, it will absorb all damage from 1 incoming attack. So that's actually pretty interesting. Blockable attacks are very limited. Basic attacks from human units jump, throw, and aim. So my guess here is that this, well, yeah, I mean, it's obvious, or it says so in the description, that it's not going to block magic attacks. This is physical attacks. So, but yeah, pretty interesting, and it's yeah, it's quick too. So, all right, so Carbuncle, an Esper whose Ruby Light reflects magic cast on allies. So this adds reflect to you. Not my favorite, and okay, this one does not always land 100%, so that's a little crummy. But I should check Moogle here too. Moogle's 100%. But yeah, it gives you the reflect status. I'm not a big fan of reflect, like just in general. But you know, I guess if you know you're going up against a bunch of casters or something, then you know, have at it. Bahamut here is Esper that attacks with fearsome breath. This doesn't look like it has an element to it. And then it's MP60. It looks like it's pretty, well, it's slow-ish, I guess. So probably like, mid-tier damage. Odin, an Esper that charges through the battlefield astride a fearsome mount, doing great damage. Yeah, Odin isn't like your typical Odin from other iterations of the game. He just does direct damage. Non-elemental, but he doesn't have a chance to KO like, again, in some of the other versions of the game where he can just literally one-shot things. So not the case with this one. So Leviathan's next here, an Esper that engulfs the battlefield in a massive tidal wave. Now this one is basically just it's pretty decent damage. The MP is 48, so quite a bit bumped up from like the the Shiva Rama Ifrit, but also the element is water, so good to use on your enemies that are weak to that, like bombs, for instance, are pretty weak against that. An Esper that scorches the battlefield with its savage flames. So this is upgraded. Well, I don't know if it's that's probably not fair to say that it's an upgraded Ifrit, but the element is fire. So I suppose on that level, I guess it kind of is, right? Sylph, Esper that employs the lingering life force of windswept leaves to silence enemies. So this one does a silence. I don't know. Again, I guess it's the same thing, right? If you're going up against a bunch of casters or something, I suppose this is good, but not usually something that I would bother with. Fairy is kind of like an upgraded Moogle, so this is going to just restore a little bit more HP. It's a little slower, unfortunately, but it does do a little bit more for you. Lich deals 50% of the target's maximum HP. And the hit rate is bumped up by the Japa Mala accessory because that increases the the dark element. So interesting, I guess. I guess this is like basically this is a a huge version of like Gravija, right? Because that does the same. Basically that's the upgraded version of Gravity. And yeah, it has a better effect radius. So, interesting spell. Cyclops is next. An Esper whose forceful blows tear the battlefield asunder. It doesn't look like this has any sort of what am I thinking of here? Element attached to it. So, again, kind of, I guess that would be more like a upgraded Odin then. Nope, I'm sorry. Yeah, wait, yeah, it is. Yeah, because it's, well, it should be anyway. I mean, it costs more, right? And then we've got Zodiac here at the end. This one is learnable only by having it cast on you, unfortunately. Very expensive, very slow, but pretty powerful. The process for learning this is a bit of a pain. It's the last battle in the Midlight's Deep. Apparently there's another way to learn it in like multiplayer, but I don't ever use that. So, if you want this, I would say get it at the end of Midlight's Deep. Now, you can also then pass this to basically an enemy summoner, and then the enemy summoner can cast on your characters if you so choose to teach it to other people. So. Just keep in mind that is the way that it works. Pretty interesting that you can, basically teach it to an enemy and then have them, use it on the characters that you haven't learned it on yet. So, so that is that. That is it for the different summons, and they do look really cool. They're some of the coolest abilities in the entire game. So, definitely fun class to mess around with. Critical Recover MP. Now, I don't find this very useful, but it's a reaction ability that, once you get knocked into the critical status, it will recover your MP. This works off of the bravery percentage, right? So the higher your bravery is, the higher chance of it triggering when you do get knocked into critical health. Have MP. I'm not a big fan of Have MP, mostly just because I think if you're casting, you want to have swiftness on instead. So, I mean, this is cool, right? But I would rather just cast things faster. And that is it for their abilities. All right, so I'm going to zip back out to the world map here, and we'll talk equipment. This will go very quickly again because summoners just are not able to equip that much. So these guys are using staves. And, oh, it looks like rods too. I guess I didn't realize that. Okay, so, yeah, that's interesting. I guess I didn't, I wasn't paying attention here. So, why do I have this equipped? Why, oh, hang on a second here. Attack 7. I guess that's why? Yeah, because it's the attack stat is higher. That's so lame. It's better to equip like this, right? Because it's got the magic +4. So it's actually funny that it wants you to cast or equip the staff of the magic. And it's simply because the attack stat is better, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, so they can equip both rods and canes, I guess. So gives you, I guess, at least a little bit of option there. Zeus Mace, I don't know, physical +2, magic +1. So you could get the magic +1 out of that, but honestly, I think you just go with the oops, and I did not mean to actually do that. You go with either the, and this is granted if you've got them, the Crown Scepter here, because again, this has got the magic +4, or you go with the Dreamwaker, which again, same reason, magic +4. Yeah, the other thing I guess you could do is do like Stardust Rod, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. No, I think I'd just rather go with the Crown Scepter or the Dreamwalker. Hats, usual deal here with the casters. They cannot equip heavy helmets, so you know, you're stuck with hats. Sorry. And then again, same thing with the armor. You've got light armor or robes. It really just depends on if you want more MP or if you want to get a little bit more HP out of it. So, and then I usually go with like the Mage Power Glove or Genji Glove. Because it gives you the +2 to your magic. So that is it for Summoner. Again, really, really cool looking abilities, and interesting because, you know, no friendly fire. So that is all I've got for this one. As always, hope the guide was helpful and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.